Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Tomorrow's election day. Did you know? Are you voting? You voting tomorrow? And if so, why? Because we know municipal elections, 15, 20% turnout at the most, generally speaking. So are you going to vote tomorrow? And let's do open mic. Wherever you live, why are you voting and what are you voting for or against? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
What's the biggest election you think? All elections are important, but what contest or seat is very important and vital this time around?
There's so many. Look, this is an issue that cuts across races for particular offices as well as referendum campaigns. Do you value your home value or not? Because if you don't vote tomorrow, and if you don't vote against policies that eliminate your home equity, then you're saying that for most of you, I assume, the biggest investment in your life means nothing to you. That's what it has to be what you're saying. It is the default position you are taking, whether you say you believe that or not. It's not what you say, it's how you behave. And if you don't vote, or if you vote for the same old at the school board level, or at the mayoral level, or at the referendum level, then that's what you're saying. I hate to break it to you. But we've broken down the numbers by region in Chicago and the surrounding areas, Cook and the Collars. And this is the story that repeats itself over and over again. Let me just, before we get to property taxes in Kane County, because that's our county that we're focusing on today, a region we're focusing on today, let me just give you a couple examples. These people who think they can run for office because, you know why? Because you're not paying attention. And because they've rationalized their conduct and record to themselves, so they figure they can rationalize it to you for the 1 in 5 of you who will show up, or 1 in 6. Palatine-Schaumburg District 211 school board candidate, who's been previously elected, by the way, Edward Young of Inverness, owes more than $140,000 in back taxes. That's according to the Cook County Recorder of Deeds.
How is he not in jail?
Good question. I don't know. He owes $133,566 to the IRS and $8,282 to the Illinois State Department of Revenue for unpaid federal and state income taxes dating back to 1992. Young failed to pay federal taxes in 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, it's just an oversight.
He failed to pay state taxes in 92 and from 2003 to 2010.
Again, how is he not in jail?
Well,
it's Wesley Snipe him. Put him in jail.
Okay.
Just know it's not millions, but still.
The fiduciary. This guy wants fiduciary duty over your schools at Palatine Schaumburg 211.
And his own house isn't in order.
You want to pay attention to Mr. Young to make sure Mr. Young of Inverness doesn't get back on the board with a handle on your purse strings there at the school?
You think he'd want to lay low like J-Lo, if he owes that much money and not try and run for a political position? Ooh.
Bankruptcy foreclosure doesn't stop Knight from seeking Wakanda mayor's post. We talked to the outgoing mayor of Wakanda last week, Frank Bard, about the war memorial there, but 9/11 memorial. How about this? The mayoral candidate in Wakanda, one of them, Lincoln Knight, has filed for bankruptcy, has had his home foreclosed upon, and has paid his property taxes late in 10 of the last 11 years. He's running on a platform to, quote, control the cost of core government services. His property, in 2012, he filed for bankruptcy in U.S. Bankruptcy Court, and he's also had his property go up for tax sale in 2013, as well as on 5 other occasions, 05, 08, 10, 12, and 14, after he failed to pay his property taxes on time. Since joining the Wakanda Village Board of Trustees, Knight has paid property taxes on time just once in 11 tries, paying $2,394 in late fees to Lake County. And he wants to control the purse strings at the Village of Wakanda. I'm sure, hard times for a decade. Really? It just goes on and on and on. Maggie Crotty, who is a state senator for all too long, she's the supervisor in Bremen Township. She's collecting 3 paychecks totaling $123,000 a year, 2 government pensions for her time at the Cook County payroll and her 16 years in the Illinois legislature, plus her salary as supervisor of Bremen Township, where she's reigned since '05. She, among her employees, her son's mother-in-law earns 47 grand as a senior director. Her longtime campaign manager is on the payroll. Her younger brother is on the payroll. Boss Crotty of Bremen Township. Care about that? Nope, I'm sure you don't. Don't pay attention. It's only your home value, right? Dick Durbin. Now, this is a race I'm involved in, as I've disclosed before on this show. The mayor of Orland Park, Dan McLaughlin. Right now, I know because of the polling I've done.
Yeah.
Dan McLaughlin is still leading. It's a close race, but McLaughlin is leading. This is the guy who increased his salary as mayor by 375% from 40 grand to 150 grand, more than the mayors of Moscow, Paris, Cleveland, Sacramento. This was for the purposes of increasing his pension from 30 grand to 110 grand after he serves one more term if he's reelected. So you're going to give him a $2 million gift for being mayor for 2 decades. Oh, by the way, the levy of the last decade increased by 56% at the village and library level. By the way, the police and pension funds are tens of millions of dollars underfunded. Oh, by the way, debt has skyrocketed under McLaughlin. And by the way, as much as they're crying about my outside involvement, Dick Durbin endorsed Dan McLaughlin for mayor of Orland Park last week. I know Dan McLaughlin for 20 years, and I can tell you he begins each day with a commitment to make his community the best it can be for every family. Dick Durbin. In a town that is ostensibly Republican. I mean, the funny thing is, like, the people, and I get all this heat on social media and stuff because of my involvement in races, and so McLaughlin loyalists have come after me. And they, we're going to beat you. We're going to beat you. You're going to beat me. Well, if I lose, you think winning is giving him a $2 million golden parachute? You think winning is setting the mayoral salary at Orland Park to 150 grand? Well, by the way, over the last decade, Orland Park median home values have declined by 34%. Boy, you got me. You're really teaching me a lesson there out in Orland Park. Hey, oh boy, you're brutalizing me. I mean, the whole kind of nose to spite your face mentality in these communities, either through active participation in advance of kleptocrats like McLaughlin, and or willful blindness to these other candidates that are tax scofflaws and who have in their personal background are financial train wrecks. Either way, you get to the same place, which is the destruction of your home value. So again, don't be silent. I guess, only Lisa from Barrington Hills. She's the only one who's going to vote tomorrow. All right, fine.
No, 312-642-5600 is the number.
Here, the people who don't hate their home value, you can call in. Everybody else who's not calling in or texting in or participating, you hate your homes. You hate the investment you made in your homes. You're mad at your money and you want it to go away. Well, you're in luck because it's going to. And here's the story of Kane County. 20 years since car salesman Stephen Stanley and his wife Joan bought a half-acre lot and built a 4-bedroom custom home at 3402 Green Pastures Road in Spring Acres Hills, a then brand-new subdivision in the west side of Carpentersville. They've been trying to sell it for 5 years. They originally wanted $699 back in 12. They have since dropped the price some dozen times to $575,000. That's what they're asking for now. Since they've tried to sell the property, just in those 5 years, they've paid $90 grand in property taxes. Going back to 2002, they've paid a total of $225 grand in property taxes. 14 years ago, their bill was $12,219, 54% lower than it is today. On the home they're trying to sell for $575 grand, they're paying $18,880 per year in property taxes. In Carpentersville, the effective property tax rate was 4.17% of home value. I mean, that is more than 4 times the national average. That means a bill of $8,300 on a home that's $200 grand. Is that computing to people? Or is there anybody out there who has any kind of literacy with respect to home value? Currently, 89 homes for sale in Carpentersville, 155 homes in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure. Gosh, I wonder why. 5-bedroom home in Aurora's Harbor Springs sold March 22nd for $260,000. Its tax bill $9,000. Effective property tax rates are even worse in Aurora, 4.5% of home value, 4.18% in Elgin. Give you some comparison here. In Aurora, Colorado, as opposed to Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah, been there. It's a suburb of Denver.
Yeah. The tax bill on a home that sold March 31st for the same price, $260,000. The property tax bill, $840. $840 in Aurora, Colorado. $9,000 in Aurora, Illinois. Do you get why people are bolting?
Well, I told you my friend's moving from, not Morgan, where's it? Near Skokie, Morton Grove.
Yeah.
Because her property taxes are almost $10,000 a year. And so she looked at homes in Arizona over the weekend. Property taxes were $1,200 for a year.
Right.
For a bigger home. More square footage, backyard, great school system.
Revolt or bolt, folks. What's it going to be? Keep propping up these financial illiterates and kleptocrats? Go ahead. Here's the thing. When I say I'm going to be, this is like my conversation to the Westside NAACP. No matter what you do, vote for people who destroy your home value. Vote for people who destroy the regional and state economy. Go ahead. The only thing it does to me, it saddens me that you're going to destroy this great city of Chicago and great state of Illinois. That's what you've done, and that's what you're doing by voting for the McLaughlins and the Lincoln Knights and the Dick Durbins and the Maggie Crotties of the world. But go ahead. Here's the thing. I lucked out. My parents sacrificed for me to give me access to a good education. Same thing with Amy. And we can go anywhere. We can be anywhere. I can be in South Carolina tomorrow. So, but
I'm tied to this thing called my children.
Well, I understand, but that's finite too.
Right.
And this is the point. This is the conversation everyone is having. I'm either on the way out or I've got this period of time to retirement or to my kids being out of school, and then I'm on the way out.
2024 is when I can move.
See, there's somebody.
Not that I know.
Right. Not that somebody's got a calendar marking off days in her well-appointed mansion in Lakeview.
Oh, yeah, right.
But here,
the A-frame, the new cool.
So my question is, what about you? Other than those that are fleecing you to enjoy the good life at your expense at a multiple of what you make, what about you? Can you afford to continue to take the hammering? Are you going to stick it out? Here's the story in Kane County, a story you've heard every region that we've identified and investigated so far. 07 to 15, home values, Elgin down 40 real dollars, inflation adjusted. Elgin down 40%, Carpentersville down 40%, East Dundee down 36, Aurora 36, West Dundee 35, Montgomery 35, South Elgin 35, Maple Park 33, Campton Hills 32, North Aurora 30, Sugar Grove 30, Gilbert's 30, Hampshire 29, St. Charles 29, Batavia 27, Geneva 24. You want to go to where this is going if you don't do something? If you don't change out your local leadership that drives your property tax bill? Oh, by the way, knock, knock. Do you get it? Projected median sale price and property tax paid 2023, projecting out 6 years. You live in Aurora. Between 07 and 23, you will have paid $105,000 in property taxes, median home. The median sale price will be $107,000. You will have paid 98% of your home value over 15 years just in property taxes. In Elgin, 98%. Carpentersville, 96%. Montgomery, 90%. All the way down to Campton Hills, 56%. Meanwhile, what's school district spending out there? Caneland, School District 302 in Maple Park during the same period, during the last 20 years, 97 to 2015. 207% increase in spend.
Wow.
District 301 in Burlington, 192% increase in spend. Geneva Consolidated 304, 162%. Algonquin, 141%. Batavia, 132%. St. Charles, 107%. So keep electing the same people. Don't pay attention to what's happening at your school. Don't pay attention to what's happening at your township. Don't pay attention to who your mayor is because, I don't know, I like him. I'm in Orland Park, and I'm a 19th Ward lunkhead who moved down to Orland Park to play the same game I was playing in the 19th Ward, but they pushed me out of there, so I'm going to go pollute Orland Park, just like these lakefront liberals that moved to the North Shore and are like termites, eating your home out from the inside in terms of home value. Hey, but pay no attention, because I'm worried about the last tweet from Trump. Real smart.